Are you driving somewhere right now? Maybe you're on a highway you've taken 100 times, headlights carving through darkness that feels a little too thick tonight. Maybe you're on a road trip, watching the GPS count down miles to a destination that seems to keep getting further away. Or maybe you're just lying in bed, remembering a time you took a wrong turn and ended up somewhere that didn't feel quite right. I need you to think about that feeling, that moment when the road you're on stops feeling like the road you meant to take. Because that's where this story begins. On a road that shouldn't exist, looking for a woman who followed her GPS into nowhere and never came back. My name is Samuel Blackwood. I'm a marshal with the Cherokee Nation Marshal Service, working out of Tahlequah, Oklahoma. I've been in law enforcement for 12 years, for with Tulsa PD, 8 serving my own people on Cherokee land. I thought I understood this territory. Every back road, every creek crossing, every hollowed-out farmhouse slowly returning to the earth. I grew up here. My grandfather's grandfather walked the Trail of Tears to reach this land. But there are roads here that don't belong to us. Roads that appear between sunset and sunrise, leading travelers somewhere that isn't on any map. Roads that take people and don't give them back. 2 weeks ago, my partner Ellie Six followed one of those roads. She's still out there. I can hear her voice on my radio sometimes, calling for backup from coordinates that don't exist. And every night, the road that took her appears a little closer to my house. If you want to understand what I'm facing, you need to understand how Ellie and I became partners, and why I drive into hell itself to bring her home. Let me take you back before the hollow roads, before Ellie, before any of this. I spent 4 years with Tulsa PD, working robbery and homicide. Good cases, good clearance rate, but I was drowning and didn't know it. The city does something to you, all that concrete and noise and endless human cruelty. By year 4, I was drinking too much and sleeping too little, and my wife had stopped asking when I was coming home. The divorce was finalized on Thursday. I signed the papers in a courthouse that smelled like floor wax and disappointment. And then I drove 4 hours to Tahlequah without telling anyone I was coming. My mother still lived in the house where I grew up, a small place outside town where the trees grow so thick you forget the rest of the world exists. She took one look at me standing on her porch and said, "You look like something the dogs wouldn't eat. Come inside." Cherokee mothers don't ask what's wrong. They feed you and wait for you to talk. Took 3 days. 3 days of her cooking and my silence, of sitting on the porch watching fireflies and wondering how I'd gotten so lost. Then one morning she set a newspaper in front of me. Job listing, Cherokee Nation Marshal Service. Your grandfather was a deputy here before Oklahoma was a state, she said. Before that, our family kept peace in the old nation. It's in your blood, Samuel. Maybe it's time to come home. I didn't believe in blood memory or ancestral callings, but I believed in her, and I needed something to believe in. 6 months later, I was a marshal. 2 years after that, I was partnered with Ellie Six, and for the first time since my divorce, I remembered what it felt like to trust someone completely. Ellie was 10 years younger than me, Cherokee through both parents, with a laugh that could fill a room and instincts that bordered on supernatural. She'd grown up in these hills, knew every family, every feud, every secret the land kept. "You're the city cop who came home," she said the first day we met, shaking my hand with a grip that meant business. "I'm the res kid who never left. Between us, we might make one competent marshal." She was joking, but she was also right. 3 years of partnership. 3 years of long shifts and bad coffee and calls that ranged from stolen cattle to domestic violence to things that didn't fit in any report. Ellie taught me about the protocols, the unofficial rules that every marshal learned but nobody wrote down. I thought they were traditions, superstitions dressed up as procedure. Then Ellie disappeared, and I learned what the protocols were really protecting us from. The Cherokee Nation covers about 7,000 square miles of northeastern Oklahoma. Rolling hills, dense forests, lakes and rivers cutting through land that still remembers when it belonged to different nations entirely. The Ozark foothills start here, and the terrain can shift from open farmland to deep hollows in the space of a mile. Beautiful country, dangerous country if you don't know what you're looking at. The Marshal Service operates out of a building in Tahlequah, modest but functional. 15 marshals covering territory larger than some eastern states. We handle everything from drug interdiction to child welfare checks, working alongside tribal police and sometimes coordinating with county or federal agencies. My first week on the job, I noticed the map. It hung in the break room, a large topographical display of our jurisdiction with various markings in different colors. Blue pins for ongoing investigations, green pins for community resources, and red pins scattered across certain roads in the rural eastern sections, with no legend explaining what they meant. "Don't ask about the red pins yet," Ellie told me when she caught me staring. "Chief Cornsilk will explain when you're ready." "When I'm ready for what?" She just smiled. "You'll know." 3 months in, I was ready. Chief Deputy Roland Cornsilk called me into his office on a Tuesday afternoon. He was 62, built like a man who'd spent decades doing physical work, with gray braids and eyes that had seen more than they'd ever tell. He'd been with the Marshal Service for 38 years. "Close the door," he said. "Sit down." His office held the usual decorations, commendations, family photos, and a Cherokee Nation flag. But there were other things too. A bundle of dried sage on the windowsill, a worn leather journal that looked older than the building, and on the wall behind his desk, a hand-drawn map that didn't match any official survey I'd ever seen. "The red pins," he said without preamble. "You've been wondering." "Yes, sir. They mark roads that shouldn't be traveled after dark. Roads that sometimes aren't there during the day but appear at night. Roads that take people." He leaned back in his chair. "You grew up around here. Have you ever got lost on a road you knew by heart?" I thought about it. A memory surfaced, age 16, driving home from a friend's house on a route I'd taken dozens of times, somehow ending up 20 miles away with no memory of how I got there. My truck's clock showing 3 hours had passed when it should have been 30 minutes. Once, I admitted, I always figured I just wasn't paying attention. That's what most people figure. Chief Cornsilk pulled the leather journal from his desk and slid it toward me. This was started by my grandfather in 1923. Every marshal since has added to it. It documents the roads, the hollow roads, some call them. Roads that exist between the ones we built. Roads that belong to something else. I opened the journal. Page after page of neat handwriting, different hands across decades. Dates, locations, descriptions of incidents. Names of people who'd gone missing. Some had been found, disoriented, miles from where they should have been. Many had never been found at all. There are protocols, Cornsilk continued. Rules for traveling in our jurisdiction after dark. Every marshal learns them. Not everyone believes them, at least not at first. But every marshal follows them. He handed me a laminated card, creased and worn. Read it. Memorize it. And when you're out there at night, don't forget, the land here is old. It was old before our people came, and it'll be old long after we're gone. The roads we built sit on top of something that was here first. Sometimes that something still uses those paths, and it doesn't always take kindly to travelers. I read the card 3 times before I looked up. Cherokee Nation Marshal Service Night Travel Protocols. Rule 1. Never follow a road that wasn't there yesterday. If you discover a new road, mark the location, leave the area, and report it immediately. Rule 2. If your GPS or navigation system indicates a route through empty forest or unmarked territory, ignore it. Return to a known road and navigate manually. Rule 3. On County Road 7 past midnight, count the fence posts between the Willow Creek Bridge and the Henderson property. There are exactly 47. If you count more than 47, do not proceed. Turn around immediately and take an alternate route. Rule 4. If you observe approaching headlights that never arrive, lights that maintain distance regardless of your speed, pull to the side of the road, turn off your engine, and wait until dawn. Do not attempt to investigate. Rule 5. Do not stop for stranded motorists between mile markers 31 and 38 on Highway 82. If you observe a stranded vehicle or person in this area, report the location and continue without stopping. Rule 6. If you encounter a fork in the road where no fork should exist according to official maps, do not take either path. Stop your vehicle, reverse until you locate the correct road, and proceed from there. Rule 7. When deer or other animals stand in the road and do not flee at your approach, do not stop. Do not exit your vehicle. Drive around them if possible or reverse and find another route. These are superstitions, I said, though my voice carried less certainty than I intended. They're survival instructions. Chief Cornsilk's tone left no room for argument. Written in blood across 100 years. Every rule exists because someone died, or worse, when they didn't follow it. Worse than dying. He didn't answer. Instead, he turned to the hand-drawn map on his wall. September 1987. A deputy named Marcus Wolf responded to a stranded motorist call on Highway 82, mile marker 34. Violated Rule 5. What happened? We found his patrol car 3 days later, 18 miles from where he'd radioed his last position. Engine still running. Deputy Wolf was in the driver's seat. Cornsilk paused. His body was there, but when we looked in his eyes, there was nothing behind them. Like whatever made him Marcus had been scooped out and something else had tried to climb in but didn't fit right. He was alive? His heart was beating. His lungs were breathing. But Marcus Wolf died on that road. What we found wasn't him anymore. It lived for 3 more weeks in the hospital, never speaking, never blinking, before it finally stopped. The chief's voice carried the weight of personal memory. I was the one who found him. I was 24 years old, and I didn't believe in the protocols either. Not until then. The room felt smaller. The afternoon light through the window seemed thinner. Ellie knows about all this, I said. Ellie knows more than most. Her grandmother was a medicine woman. She grew up with stories most people have forgotten. Cornsilk took the laminated card back. You're partners. That means you watch each other's backs, especially after dark. The hollow roads hunt alone travelers. Two people are harder to take. What are they? The roads, what actually happens? Nobody knows for certain. Some elders say they're paths left behind by the Nunahai, the immortal spirit people who helped our ancestors during the removal. Others say they're older than that, roads that belong to whatever lived here before humans arrived. What I know for certain is this: they're real, they're hungry, and they don't let go of what they catch. He stood, signaling the meeting was over. Keep that card with you. Follow the rules. And if you see something that doesn't make sense, trust your instincts over your eyes. Out here, seeing isn't always believing, and believing too much in what you see can get you killed. For 6 months, the protocols felt like an elaborate hazing ritual. Ellie and I worked hundreds of calls, thefts, assaults, welfare checks, traffic enforcement. Normal police work under abnormal rules. I counted fence posts on County Road 7 exactly once, felt ridiculous doing it, and never saw anything strange. But I noticed that Ellie always counted. Every time we took that road after dark, her lips moved silently, tallying posts in the headlight beams. She never discussed it, never acknowledged she was doing it. Just counted, nodded to herself, and kept driving. And she never took the shortcut. Our GPS regularly suggested a route through an unmarked forest area that would shave 15 minutes off the drive between Tahlequah and the eastern townships. Every time, Ellie would dismiss the notification without comment and take the long way around. You really believe all that? I asked once. The hollow roads, the rules? She was quiet for a long moment. Fireflies sparked in the darkness beyond our headlights. When I was 9, she finally said, my uncle went to check on a broken fence line on the family property. It was a path he'd walked 1,000 times. He left at sunset. By midnight, he hadn't come home. What happened? Search party found him the next morning, about 4 miles from where he should have been, on a road that the county had condemned and torn up 20 years before. He was walking in circles, completely disoriented, said he'd been following a path that kept changing direction, like it was hurting him somewhere. He was okay? Physically. Ellie's hands tightened on the steering wheel, but he never walked anywhere alone after dark again. And some nights, he'd stand at the window for hours, staring at the tree line like he was waiting for something to come back for him. I didn't ask any more questions that night. Then came the Harjo call. November 14th. A woman named Dorothy Harjo reported her husband missing. He'd gone to check on equipment at their property near the Illinois River, a 30-minute drive from their home in Welling. He left at 4 p.m. By 9 p.m., he hadn't returned and wasn't answering his phone. Ellie and I took the call. Routine stuff, probably a broken-down truck, dead phone battery, maybe a minor injury that slowed him down. We'd find him walking along the road, embarrassed and relieved. The Harjo property sat at the end of a gravel road that wound through dense oak forest. No streetlights, no neighbors visible, just trees pressing close on both sides. Our headlights seemed to struggle against the darkness, illuminating less than they should. We found Walter Harjo's truck parked beside an equipment shed. Driver's door open, keys still in the ignition. His phone sat on the dashboard, fully charged. No calls made after 4:30 p.m. Walter Harjo, Ellie's voice echoed through the trees. Cherokee Nation Marshal Service. If you can hear me, call out. Silence. Not even insects. The forest had gone completely still. I swept my flashlight across the ground. Footprints led from the truck toward a trail that disappeared into the woods. A trail that wasn't on any property map Dorothy had provided. That path, I said. Is that normal? Ellie studied it, her expression tightening. There's no trail here. I've been to this property before. That's just wood. But I could see it clearly. A worn dirt path, wide enough for one person, curving into the darkness between ancient oaks. It looked well used, like people had been walking it for years. We should follow it, I said. He might be hurt. No. Ellie's voice was sharp. We do not follow unknown paths after dark. That's basic protocol. The protocols are about roads, about any route that shouldn't exist. She grabbed my arm. Look at it, Sam. Really look. I looked, and I realized the path wasn't just visible, it was inviting. Something about the way the moonlight fell on the packed earth made it seem to glow faintly. Every instinct said to walk down it to see where it led. That's when I felt the wrongness, the pull, like the path was reaching for my mind, suggesting that walking down it was my own idea. Jesus, I breathed. Now you understand. Ellie pulled out her radio. We mark the location, we come back in daylight with more people. If Walter followed that path, then she didn't finish. We didn't find Walter Harjo that night, or the next day, when we returned with a search team and found nothing but unbroken forest where the path had been. His body turned up 2 weeks later, 17 miles away, in a place he had no way of reaching on foot. The medical examiner said he'd been dead for almost the entire time he'd been missing. But his phone records showed he'd tried to call 911 6 hours after he died. The GPS coordinates in that call? A location that didn't exist on any map. It was Ellie who caught the Rodriguez case. Maria Rodriguez, age 34, vanished on her way home from work in Muskogee. She'd texted her husband at 6:15 p.m., saying she was taking a back road to avoid traffic. Her phone's last ping came from a cell tower near Highway 82, between mile markers 31 and 38, the exact stretch Rule 5 warned about. I'm going to check it out, Ellie told me. We were both at the station, end of shift, paperwork piled on our desks. Just a quick sweep before I head home. I'll come with you. You've got court in the morning. That beer paw testimony. She was already grabbing her jacket. It's just a drive-by, Sam. I'll stay on the main road, won't stop for anything. Protocol compliant. Ellie, I've been doing this longer than you, city boy. She grinned, that familiar flash of confidence. I know the rules. I'll check in every 15 minutes. If anything feels off, I'm gone. I should have insisted, should have told the beer paw testimony to wait. But I was tired, and she was right. She knew these roads better than I ever would. She'd be fine. 15 minutes, I said. Every check-in, or I'm coming after you. Yes, Dad. She was out the door before I could respond. Her first check-in came at 7:30. All clear, nothing unusual. Approaching mile marker 35. Her second check-in never came. By 8 o'clock, I was in my truck, speeding toward Highway 82. By 8:30, I'd found her vehicle. It sat on the shoulder between mile markers 36 and 37. Driver's door open, engine running. Her phone was on the seat, the flashlight still activated. Her service weapon was still holstered, but there was something else. A dirt road, barely visible, branching off the highway into the dark forest. It wasn't there on any map. It hadn't been there the last time I'd driven this stretch 2 days ago. And in the beam of Ellie's abandoned flashlight, I could see footprints leading down that impossible road. Her boot prints, the same tactical boots she'd put on that morning, the ones with the slight wear on the left heel from the way she walked. She'd followed the road. Ellie, who knew the protocols better than anyone, who'd warned me about the hollow roads since my first day. She'd followed it anyway. My radio crackled. Static, then a voice. Sam, I need help. I'm on a road. I don't know where. The GPS isn't working. Ellie's voice. Exactly Ellie's voice. But the words were wrong. Ellie never called me Sam. She called me Blackwood or City Boy, or occasionally Jackass when I deserved it. Never Sam. Sam, please, I can see the highway, but I can't get back to it. The road keeps turning. I keyed the radio. Ellie, confirm your badge number. Silence. Long, heavy silence. Then, please help me, Sam. It's so dark out here. My hand shook as I lowered the radio. Whatever was speaking to me, it wasn't Ellie. It was something that had her voice but didn't know how she used it. I stared at the dirt road stretching into blackness. Every protocol said to leave. Mark the location, report it, come back in daylight with backup and a medicine person who knew the old ways. But those were Ellie's footprints. My partner, who'd spent 3 years teaching me to survive this territory, who'd trusted me to have her back. The road pulsed faintly in the moonlight, inviting, patient. I made myself turn away. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. But I remembered Chief Cornsilk's words. The hollow roads hunt solo travelers. 2 people are harder to take. If I went in alone, I'd just give it another victim. I drove back to Tahlequah at 90 miles per hour, already planning how to bring Ellie home. And behind me, in my rearview mirror, I could see the dirt road glowing faintly, like it was memorizing my license plate for later. Chief Cornsilk met me at the station with a face that said he already knew. The highway patrol found her vehicle, he said before I could speak. I've already made calls. Ada Blackfox is on her way. Who's Ada Blackfox? Medicine woman. Lives up near Kenwood. If anyone knows how to find someone the hollow roads have taken, it's her. How long do we have? Cornsilk's expression flickered. The roads keep their victims alive for a while. They feed on something: fear, memories, identity. The longer someone's in there, the less of them comes back. If we're lucky, we have 3 days, maybe 4. And if we're unlucky, then we never find her body, and something else comes out wearing her face. Ada Blackfox arrived 2 hours later. She was somewhere between 70 and ancient, with white hair cropped short and hands that looked like they'd worked the land for centuries. She wore jeans and a flannel shirt, practical as any farmer. But when she looked at me, I felt something deeper than eyes searching my face. "You're the partner," she said. Not a question. "Yes, ma'am. You loved her. Not romantic love, the other kind. The kind that makes you family." I didn't deny it. Couldn't. Good. That matters. Ada turned to Cornsilk. "Show me where the road appeared." We drove back to Highway 82 in the gray light before dawn. The dirt road was gone. Nothing but unbroken forest where it had been. But Ada stood at the edge of the highway for a long time, eyes closed, one hand pressed against the bark of an oak tree. "It's still here," she finally said. "The road, it just closed after it caught her. But it's not done. It's waiting for the full moon to take her completely." "When's the full moon?" "3 nights from now." She walked along the shoulder, studying the ground with an intensity that made the asphalt seem to shrink away from her. At one point, she knelt and pressed her palm flat against the road surface. "The hollow roads are old. Older than our people, older than the mound builders before us. They were here when this land was young." She stood, wiping her hands on her jeans. "They're not evil exactly. They're hungry. They feed on what makes us human, our connections to each other, our memories of home. When they've eaten enough, the person becomes part of the road. Another path to lure more travelers. Ellie's still herself? For now. But every hour she's fading. The road is learning her voice, her memories, her way of moving. By the full moon, there won't be enough Ellie left to save. How do I find her? Ada's eyes met mine. You don't. You let her find you. But first, you need to understand what you're fighting. She pulled a folded paper from her pocket, a hand-drawn map, different from corn silks but clearly related. The same territory, but with different markings. The hollow roads exist in the spaces between the roads we built. They're not parallel to ours, they're woven through them, like veins in a body. When someone walks a hollow road, they're still in our world, but they can't find their way back. The road keeps turning them around, feeding on their disorientation. So Ellie's close by, physically. She could be 20 feet from the highway and unable to see it. The road won't let her. Ada traced a circle on the map. But there are places where the hollow roads touch our roads. Intersections. If you can find the right one, you can cross over. Briefly. And bring her back. Maybe. If you can hold on to who you are while you're in there. The road will try to confuse you, make you forget where you came from, why you're there. It will use every memory, every regret, every fear against you. I thought about my failed marriage, my father's disappointment when I left Tahlequah the first time, every mistake I'd made, every person I'd let down. I'll do it. I know you will. Ada handed me a small leather pouch, similar to the medicine bundle in my grandmother's stories. This will help you remember, but it won't save you. Only you can do that. What's in it? Tobacco and cedar, a stone from the Illinois River, and something of yours that you gave me when you weren't looking. At my confused expression, she almost smiled. A piece of your shadow, enough to anchor you to this world while you walk in the other. I didn't ask how she'd taken a piece of my shadow. Some things I was learning didn't need explanations. The intersection Ada identified was on County Road 7. The same road where we counted fence posts. The same road where, according to the old journal, more people had vanished than any other in the territory. I went at midnight, alone. Chief Cornsilk had argued against it. So had the other marshals, even Ada herself. But the hollow roads hunted single travelers, and that meant they'd open for me in ways they wouldn't for a group. I needed the road to take me. I needed to become bait. The first 46 fence posts passed in my headlights, counted aloud to keep myself focused. 47, 48, 49. There shouldn't be a 49th post. The Henderson property ended at 47. 50, 51. The road began to curve in a direction it had never curved before. The trees pressed closer, their branches reaching toward my truck like fingers. In my rearview mirror, the highway behind me had disappeared into darkness. I was on the hollow road. My radio crackled.
Sam,
Is that you? I can see your headlights, but I can't find the road. Ellie's voice. Wrong again, still calling me Sam, but closer now. Less like a recording and more like a person. I'm coming, I said, though I knew she probably couldn't hear me. Hold on, Ellie. The road split ahead. A fork that the map said didn't exist because of course it didn't. Rule 6 said to take neither path, to reverse until I found the real road. But I wasn't trying to escape. I was trying to go deeper. I turned off my headlights. In the sudden darkness, I could see something else, a faint glow, far down the left fork. Not headlights, something softer, like moonlight concentrated into a single point. I followed it. The road narrowed until branches scraped both sides of my truck. The temperature dropped, breath misting in front of my face. And ahead, the glow grew stronger, resolving into a shape. A figure standing in the road. Ellie. She stood with her back to me, uniform disheveled, head tilted at an angle that wasn't quite natural. Around her, the road had widened into a clearing, and I could see other paths branching off in every direction. Dozens of them, maybe hundreds, all leading into darkness. Ellie. She turned. Her face was hers, but her expression was empty, slack, like she was wearing her own features without remembering how to animate them. You came, she said, her voice, but flattened, drained of everything that made it Ellie's. I knew you'd come. I'm taking you home. This is home now. She gestured at the branching roads. So many paths, so many travelers over the years. They're all here, Sam. All of them walking forever, trying to find their way back. The medicine bundle burned against my chest. I gripped it hard, feeling the shape of the stones inside, remembering Ada's words. Hold on to who you are. My name isn't Sam. It's Blackwood. You call me Blackwood, or City Boy, or Jackass when I've earned it. Something flickered in her eyes. 3 years ago, you told me about your uncle, the one who got lost on his own property. You told me you understood why I came home, because you never could have left. More flickering. Her expression shifted, fighting against whatever had held her. Last Christmas, you made me come to your family's dinner because you said nobody should be alone on a holiday. Your grandmother called me Idoda, father, because she said I worried about you like a parent. You cried at that and pretended it was the onions. Her voice broke, struggled. I don't remember, you do. Still there. The road can take your voice, your memories, but it can't take what we are to each other. I came back for you, Ellie, just like you'd come back for me. I stepped out of the truck. Every instinct screamed at me to stay inside. The protocols, the rules, everything I'd learned said never leave your vehicle on the hollow roads. But Ellie was standing 10 feet away, and protocols hadn't saved her. Maybe nothing could, but I was gonna try. The ground felt wrong under my boots, solid but somehow hollow, like walking on a drum. The air tasted like old leaves and something else. something that made my thoughts want to scatter in different directions. I focused on Ellie's face. In her eyes, still flickering between emptiness and recognition. Your grandmother's maiden name was Wycliffe. Your favorite food is grape dumplings. You sing off-key when you think nobody's listening. And you hate that I know because I heard you in the truck when you thought I was asleep. Blackwood. Her voice. Her real voice. Strained and terrified, but hers. Blackwood, you shouldn't be here, I know. But I am. I reached for her hand. The moment our hands touched, the hollow road screamed. Not a sound, more like a sensation, a vibration that ran through the ground and the air and somewhere behind my eyes. The branching paths around us began to shift, contracting, walls of darkness pressing inward. It knows you're taking me. Ellie's grip on my hand was desperate. It won't let us leave. It doesn't have a choice. I pulled the medicine bundle from my jacket. Ada Black Fox gave me this, said it would anchor us to the real world. Ada Black Fox? Something like hope crossed Ellie's face. She's still alive? Very much so, and very annoyed that I didn't listen to her advice about coming in with backup. I opened the bundle. Inside, the tobacco and cedar had been pressed together with the river stone, forming a small dark mass that smelled like home, like Oklahoma in autumn, wood smoke and falling leaves and earth after rain. We need to go back the way I came, I said. My truck's still running. We get in, we drive, we don't stop for anything. The road won't let us. Ellie's voice was steadier now, more herself, but still threaded with fear. I've been trying to leave for, how long has it been? 2 days. Feels like weeks. She looked at the paths surrounding us, all of them twisting now, rearranging themselves like something alive. Every time I try to walk back, I end up here. This clearing, these paths. It's the heart of something, Blackwood, the place where all the hollow roads connect. Then let's give it indigestion. I pressed the medicine bundle into her hand. The moment she touched it, the darkness around us recoiled, just slightly, just enough to notice. The stones from the Illinois River, I told her, near where your family has their land. Ada said it carries the memory of the real world. If we both hold on to it, maybe it's enough to find our way back. Maybe. I'm making this up as I go. Ellie, you got a better idea? Despite everything, she almost laughed. God, I missed you, city boy. We walked together, her hand in mine, both of us gripping the medicine bundle. The paths shifted around us, trying to confuse our direction, but I kept my eyes on the darkness ahead, not looking for light, not looking for anything except the sensation of wrongness that had hit me when I first crossed onto the hollow road. Because if I could feel where the real world wasn't, maybe I could feel where it was. My mother made grape dumplings last Sunday, I said, keeping my voice steady. She asked about you. I wanted to know when you were coming over for dinner again. Probably wondered why I missed poker night. Ellie's voice was strained but holding. Tell her I was indisposed. I'll tell her you got lost and I had to come find you, like always. That's not. She stopped. Ahead of us, the darkness had thinned. Not light exactly, but less absolute. Do you see that? I saw it. A shape in the black, familiar and impossible. The outline of my truck, headlights still off, parked on a road that wasn't the hollow road. The real road, County Road 7, right where I'd left it. Run. We ran. The hollow road didn't want to let us go. The ground shifted under our feet, the distance to the truck stretching like taffy. What should have been 20 feet became 50, then 100. The darkness behind us congealed into something with weight and intention, pressing at our backs. And voices. God, the voices. My father, telling me I'd never amount to anything. My ex-wife, listing every failure of our marriage. Chief Cornsilk explaining how the protocols existed because people like me got people like Ellie killed. Don't listen. I squeezed Ellie's hand harder. It's not real. I know it's not real. Her voice was ragged. But I can hear my grandmother. She died when I was 16. She's asking why I didn't come home before she passed, why I let her die alone. Your grandmother didn't die alone. You told me about it. You held her hand. You sang the old songs while she passed. I did. Ellie's stride steadied. I did, she said. She said she was proud of me, that I was exactly who she'd prayed I would be. Behind us, something shrieked in frustration. The voices shifted, tried new tactics, compliments now, seductions. Stay here. Rest. No more responsibility. No more fear. The truck was 20 feet away. Real feet this time, the distance holding stable. 10 feet. 5. I yanked the driver's door open and pushed Ellie inside, then threw myself in after her. The engine was still running, just like I'd left it. I slammed it into reverse and floored the accelerator. The truck lurched backward, tires screaming on asphalt. In the headlights, I turned them on without thinking. I saw the hollow road for what it really was. Not a road at all. A mouth. A vast darkness lined with what looked almost like teeth, stretching and snapping as we pulled away. The paths I'd seen were its tongue, tasting the air where we'd stood. Jesus Christ, Ellie Six. I didn't stop reversing until we hit the main highway. Then I spun the wheel, shifted into drive, and we were flying down the blacktop at speeds that would have ended my career if any other officer had been watching. Behind us, the mouth closed, and in my rearview mirror, just before it vanished, I saw something standing at the edge of the darkness. A figure wearing my face, expression slack and empty, watching us go with eyes that held nothing human, showing me what I'd almost become. We made it to Ada Black Fox's place by 3 a.m. The medicine woman took one look at us, Ellie pale and shaking, me not much better, and gestured toward her house without a word. Inside, she sat us down beside a wood-burning stove, wrapped us in blankets that smelled like sage and cedar, and began preparing something in a bowl that looked older than the hills outside. You made it back, she said to me. I wasn't sure you would. Neither was I. But you remembered who you were. That's what matters. She turned to Ellie. And you? How much of you is still you? Ellie held up her hands, studying them like she'd never seen them before. I think most of me. There are gaps. Places where memories should be and aren't. But I know my name. I know who I am. I know him. She looked at me, and I saw my partner behind her eyes. Shaken, scarred, but present. The road took pieces of you, Ada said. That's what it does. You'll never get those pieces back. They're part of the road now, used to lure the next traveler. But you can fill those gaps with new memories, new connections, as long as you don't walk alone. The protocols, I said. 2 people are harder to take. More than that, Two people who trust each other, who know each other, who refuse to forget each other. The road can't hold that. It feeds on isolation, on loneliness, on people who've forgotten why they want to go home. Ada poured the contents of her bowl into 2 cups and handed one to each of us. Drink. This will help settle what's left. Tasted like nothing I could describe, earth and sky and the memory of water. When I finished, I felt more solid somehow, more anchored. The thing wearing my face, I said, at the edge of the road. What was that? A promise. The road showing you what it would make of you if you ever came back alone. It knows you now, Samuel Blackwood. Tasted your fear, your grief, your regret. It will never stop wanting you. So I stay off County Road 7 at night. You stay smart. Follow the protocols. Travel with someone you trust. Ada's eyes moved between us. And you never forget that the hollow roads exist. Most people who encounter them once never see them again, because they learn to be careful. But some people attract them. Some people have enough darkness in their own hearts that the roads can't resist. Which are we? Ada didn't answer. Her silence was enough. Ellie spent 2 weeks on administrative leave. Medical evaluation, psychological assessment, all the official procedures that let the department pretend what happened to her had a rational explanation. The paperwork said she'd been stranded due to vehicle trouble and suffered exposure and disorientation. Nobody who mattered believed it. I visited her every day. Sometimes we talked about what had happened. Mostly we didn't. We watched bad movies on her grandmother's old television. We ate too much fry bread. We sat on her porch and counted fence posts on the road below, even though it wasn't County Road 7 and there was nothing to count. The gaps in her memory never fully healed. She couldn't remember her first day at the Marshal Service, or the name of her childhood dog, or what she'd eaten for breakfast the morning she disappeared. Small things, but they added up. And sometimes, late at night, she'd wake up screaming about roads that kept turning, about walking forever toward a highway she could see but never reach. But she healed. Slowly, incompletely, but genuinely. 3 weeks after the hollow road, we were back on patrol together. Same truck, same territory, same rules, but different somehow. Closer, like we'd both looked into something that wanted to consume us and decided we'd rather hold onto each other instead. We were driving Highway 82 at dusk when Ellie pointed at the dashboard. GPS is suggesting a shortcut through the forest. I looked at the screen. An unmarked route, 15 minutes shorter, cutting through an area that showed as empty green on the map. Rule 2, I said. Rule 2. She dismissed the notification without hesitation. Long way it is. We drove in comfortable silence as darkness fell. The fence posts on County Road 7 numbered exactly 47. The roads stayed where they belonged. For now. Chief Cornsilk called us in before the end of shift. Missing person report, he said, sliding a file across his desk. Hiker failed to return from a trail near 10 Killer Lake. Search and rescue swept the area but found nothing. I opened the file. The missing woman's name was Jennifer Cartwright, age 28, experienced outdoors woman. Her last known location was a trail that, according to the map in the file, branched off in a direction that didn't match any official survey. A trail that wasn't there before, Ellie said quietly. Her husband says she texted him around sunset. Said she'd found a shortcut back to the parking lot. Cornsilk's expression was grim. Her phone's last ping was 3 miles from where it should have been possible for her to reach on foot. That I looked at Ellie. She looked at me. "We'll take it," I said, "because that's what we do. That's what the protocols are for, not to hide from the hollow roads, but to fight them, to bring back the ones they try to keep. The roads are still out there. They'll always be out there, hungry and patient, waiting for travelers who take the wrong turn at the wrong time. But we're out there too, and we know the rules. If you're listening to this on a drive somewhere, and your GPS suggests a route through empty forest, ignore it. If you see a road that wasn't there yesterday, don't follow it. If someone calls your name from the darkness, don't answer until you see their face. And if you're traveling alone tonight, maybe call someone. Not because you need help, but because connection is the only thing the hollow roads can't take from you. Stay on the path, and stay safe out there.